Hello, little story explorers, and welcome to our cozy corner for a magical Christmas tale. Are you snuggled in and ready for an adventure? Wonderful! Today, we're heading to a land of snow and ice to meet a very special friend. This is the story of Pipo the Penguin and the Santa hat. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in the crisp white world of the South Pole, where snowflakes danced in the air like tiny fairies, lived a curious little penguin named Pipo. Pipo was known for his wobbly walk, his cheerful chirps, and his big, adventurous heart. He loved sliding on his belly, chasing snowflakes, and building little snow penguins with his friends. It was Christmas Eve, the most magical night of the year. The air was filled with a special kind of sparkle, and a sense of happy anticipation buzzed all around. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter, and the moon cast a silvery glow over the endless snow. Pipo was so excited he could barely stand still. He waddled around, his little feet making soft crunching sounds in the snow, wondering what wonderful surprises Christmas morning would bring. Would he get a new, shiny pebble? Or maybe a delicious, fishy treat? As he waddled past a large snowdrift near an old, forgotten sleigh, something caught his eye. It was a flash of brilliant red against the pure white snow. Pipo blinked his big, round eyes. What could it be? Slowly, curiously, he waddled closer. Peeking out from under a blanket of freshly fallen snow was the corner of something soft and fuzzy. With his little flipper, he carefully brushed the snow away. And there it was. A magnificent, big, red Santa hat, complete with a fluffy white trim and a bouncy white pom-pom on the end. It was the most wonderful hat Pipo had ever seen. He gasped with delight. Wow! He chirped, his voice full of awe. He was sure it must have fallen from Santa's sleigh as he flew overhead. It was a sign. A Christmas miracle. Without a second thought, Pipo knew exactly what he had to do. With a little hop and a wiggle, he managed to pull the giant hat onto his head. It was much, much bigger than he expected, but he didn't care. He puffed out his chest and stood as tall as his little penguin body would allow. Look at me! He shouted proudly to the silent, snowy landscape. I'm not just Pipo anymore. Now I'm Santa Pipo. He imagined himself delivering presents and spreading cheer, just like the real Santa Claus. Feeling very important and very festive, Santa Pipo decided to take a stroll to show off his new look. He took a confident step forward, ready to greet his public. But there was one small problem. The hat was so huge, so incredibly large, that with his very first step, it slipped right down over his eyes. Suddenly, everything went dark and red. Whoa! He cried, his voice muffled by the thick fabric. He couldn't see a thing. He waved his flippers around, trying to find his way. He took another step, then another, walking blindly through the snow. He felt like he was in a big, red, fuzzy tunnel. And then, bump! Santa Pipo walked straight into something hard and stripy. He stumbled backward, and the hat flopped to one side, allowing him to peek out. He had walked right into a giant candy cane pole that the elves used to mark the path to the workshop. Oof! He mumbled, rubbing his head. The candy cane wobbled, sending a little shower of snow down onto his new hat. A nearby Arctic hare peeked out from behind a snowbank and giggled. A little dazed but not discouraged, Santa Pipo straightened his hat, making sure he could see this time. A Santa must be more careful, he told himself seriously. He decided the best way to travel and spread Christmas cheer would be on his belly, the way penguins do best. It was faster and definitely more fun. So he got a running start and leaped forward onto a long, snowy hill. Here I go! He yelled with glee. He started sliding down, picking up speed. Faster and faster he went. The wind rushed past him, and the snow sprayed out on either side like a wake behind a boat. It was exhilarating. But as he gained speed, the giant Santa hat started to act like a sail, catching the wind. It began to wobble, and then it started to spin. Round and round it went, like a big red and white wheel on his head. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Pipo cried, getting dizzier and dizzier with every rotation. The world became a swirling blur of white and blue. He was no longer a graceful slider. He was a spinning, tumbling, red and white ball of penguin. He slid and spun all the way to the bottom of the hill, finally skidding to a stop in a huge, soft pile of snow at the edge of the enchanted forest. The hat flopped forward over his eyes again, and he lay there for a moment, tangled and dizzy with only his little black feet sticking out of the snow pile. Slowly, he heard a sound. It started as a small titter, then a giggle. Then it grew into a wave of happy, rolling laughter. Pipo managed to push the hat off his face and blinked. All the forest animals had gathered to see what the commotion was. There was Finley the fox, with his bushy tail twitching with amusement. Bella the bear chuckling softly into her paw. And a whole family of reindeer, their antlers shaking as they laughed. A little snow bunny hopped forward, twitching its nose. "Pipo," it squeaked between giggles. "You're the funniest Santa we've ever seen." Pipo looked at his audience. He saw the snow on his hat, the candy cane dust on his beak, and felt how dizzy he was from his spinning slide. At first, his cheeks felt warm, and he blushed a bright pink under his feathers. He thought they were making fun of him. But then he looked into their eyes and saw nothing but pure joy and friendliness. They weren't laughing at him. They were laughing with him. His clumsy adventure had brought them all together and filled the Christmas Eve air with happiness. A slow smile spread across Pipo's face. He realized that maybe being Santa wasn't just about being perfect and grand. Maybe it was about spreading joy, even if it was by being a little bit silly. He stood up, adjusted the giant hat so it sat jauntily on the back of his head, and gave them his best, most cheerful Santa Claus impression. "Ho, ho, ho!" he boomed in his little penguin voice. He tried to puff out his chest again, just like the real Santa would. "Merry Christmas to all." The animals cheered and clapped their paws and hooves. Pipo looked at the oversized hat, which was still comically large on him. With a twinkle in his eye, he added, "Next year, I think I'll ask for a smaller size." And as laughter echoed through the snowy forest, Pipo the Penguin realized he had succeeded after all. He had brought smiles and laughter to his friends, filling their Christmas Eve with unexpected fun. And that, he decided, was the best kind of Christmas magic there is. The end. Wasn't that a fun story? Pipo learned that sometimes, the best gifts are the ones we don't expect. Like sharing a good laugh with friends. Thank you so much for joining me for our story time today. I hope you have a wonderful, magical day filled with joy. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing adventures. We can't wait to see you again soon. Bye-bye.